Cybernation Uncensored.
Hello and welcome, travelers, to our first official session of Star Trek Adventures. I am your game mistress, Winter, and I am excited to welcome you all here and to see what this illustrious crew you see before you will do this evening. You can find me on most social medias at gmistresswinter or over at my own stream channel, Mistress Winter Court, on Mondays. Now, let's go around and meet the crew, starting with Juicy.
Hi, I'm Juicy Garland, a Boston area drag queen and super nerd. I am playing Lieutenant Dupre, our science officer for the evening. I am also invisible because I have entered the mystical and magical land of Utah and am no longer home in my home state of Massachusetts. You can find me on Twitter at JuicyGarland, one word, and on Instagram at juicy.garland, and I'm excited to play some Star Trek.
And we are excited to have you. All right, and Jesse.
Hello, my name is Jessie D. I go by just Jessie D on Hive Social, Discord, and over on Tumblr, the dark side of the internet. You can find me at just-Jessie-D. And I am super happy to be here also. Let's get this voyage underway.
Awesome. Anita.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anita, or Panita, or Critical Misses. You can find me everywhere online, one of those places. I'm a TTRPG streamer, producer, graphic designer, and just all-around wild child. I'm excited. Tonight I'm playing your Captain Mira Drell. Both our pronouns are she, they, and yeah. Let's get into this. Let's see what our game mistress has in store for us this evening.
Hope it's a good one. Anyway, and Twisting.
I am Twisting Curses on Discord, and I will be playing Dr. Madmika, chief surgeon for the crew, and looking forward to the adventure.
Wonderful. Well, to recap, last week we did our session 0, where we got introduced to the crew by way of an emergency that was happening on Starbase Foxtrot. It seems that the admiral who was going to give them their assignment had mysteriously disappeared, leaving another admiral, Winters, in charge and scrambling to put everything together. In order to give the crew the best assignment that she possibly could, she ran them through a simulation, which they completely aced, and came out the other side showing that they have a propensity for diplomacy and trickery versus violence, which set the tone for how this crew is going to work together. They also decided on a Nova-class starship that is currently being refitted and prepared for their voyage beyond the Great Barrier. The Great Barrier is a vast energy field that surrounds the core of the Milky Way galaxy. When they were completing their simulation, the crew noticed a rift in that barrier, and it may have something to do with the missing admiral. Who knows? Guess we'll find out tonight. The crew has been aboard Starbase Foxtrot for a couple weeks now, as the ship that you have commissioned is being fitted and a crew put together to best support your needs. Finally, the day comes when Admiral Winters summons you to one of the massive conference rooms for a mission briefing. You all enter and find whatever seat and position you would like, closest to Winters or further away from her. She is not there on time, as you've come to expect that she is a bundle of chaos, and sure enough, about a couple minutes past the hour, she comes rushing in, assistant, prattling off different appointments and other things, and she just waves her off. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Please have a seat. Let's get this underway. So, I know that all of you have been waiting here for some time with bated breath, I am absolutely sure. Well, now, today is the day. So, I would first like to brief you on your mission. The Great Barrier. Have any of you done any research on it?
Have I? I
Sure.
have focused in I have focused in like xenoanthropology, xenobiology, which know people there, but I am a scientist, so I may have. So I was wondering if maybe I did.
Maybe in passing,
Okay.
but you probably have just about as general a knowledge as anybody else. It's, the energy wall around the core. Ships have not passed through it, at least to your knowledge. Looking around at blank faces, Admiral Winters continues. This part, I'm going to go ahead and just start this briefing with the classified portion. About a century ago, the Enterprise, as captained by Kirk, was commandeered by a renegade Vulcan and taken through the Great Barrier on some sort of extreme pilgrimage. It was believed that the Vulcans form a planet, form of heaven, was beyond that barrier. Now, as everyone believed at the time, and generally still do, everyone believed that the Great Barrier could not be traversed without significant harm, possibly even death. That was not the case in the Enterprise's voyage through. It turns out that the Great Barrier, again, at the time, was merely an illusion, and the Enterprise passed through it with no ill effects. What they found on the other side Well, that will be the second part of this brief. We have generally kept that information classified. In order to keep others from attempting the same, from passing through the barrier and discovering what's on the other side. Now, that was how it was in Kirk's day. Nowadays, however, over the last 50 years, it has thickened, become more dense, and has not even allowed probes or sensors to make it through. And due to our secrecy on the Enterprise's voyage, we have been able to keep a majority, if not all, other ships from venturing forth and learning if this new form of the barrier can do any damage. This hole in the wall that we have discovered, that you have discovered, may offer us a chance to learn if there are any threats developing on the other side, something that's been festering for some time. The second part of the brief, this is where it gets a little rough. The biggest threat, and the reason that we kept this classified, was as part of Kirk's report on this particular voyage, there was a powerful entity known as the One, who attempted to commandeer the Enterprise and escape its prison, which seems that the Great Barrier was created for. By who? I'm not sure I can tell you, but it has been trapped there, and thus we felt it necessary to keep this a secret in order to safeguard that prison, and until we could understand that threat better. But with the changes to the barrier, we may need to sneak a peek, and that's where you all come in.
So you're saying that Kirk and his crew went looking for God but found the devil instead?
Something to that effect, if you want to get very spiritual with it.
What would God need with a starship?
Admiral, the odds of success here appear so low that it would potentially be illogical to make the excursion. What are the benefits of having made it?
With this opening that we have, it is an opportunity that we cannot waste. We've already attempted to send a probe or two through the channel, through the tunnel, and they inevitably get fried going through. So that may warn us of the risks of going through the tunnel. But my intuition tells me that a starship can make the journey. And what I hope that you'll find on the other side is benign. But we need to know. Knowledge is power, and we need to have that knowledge. If there is something on the other side, whether it be the One or some other threat that could potentially be trying to escape the core, we need to know. And so I would like you, Captain, to take on this mission, to venture forth and see what's on the other side.
I mean, our primary objective is always exploration. I don't see. Uh, and danger is part of the job, regardless of whether or not it's illogical. I say we have to go.
Let's
The
go
safety
now.
of the
I'm in.
Federation is at stake, then we go.
Are there any other concerns that I can assuage, Lieutenant Dupree?
The only other thing I would like to say is that we have to thank a few people for a few bonuses to the game. Stinkpalm and, of course, the Wookiee Kev have both given us, actually, and in addition, Stormwolf have given us modifiers. We have 3 -2s, and the Wookiee Kev decided to give you +2 for a roll on your end.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for those bonuses, and I hope that we will use them at key moments.
Heck yeah.
Admiral, no. No other concerns at this time. If Starfleet wills it, we shall go.
I have something to add just to the group here. When Starfleet came to the aid of the Bajorans at the end of the occupation, they helped us discover our celestial temple inside what's known as the wormhole. And I just want us to be cautious that this might be somebody else's celestial temple, so that we should maybe tread respectfully and carefully in this place. There were some mistakes that we hopefully learn from by dealing with devout Bajorans, and I just hope to carry that into this place. So if I'm acting in a way that is more reverent than becomes a Starfleet officer, that's my justification for that.
Understood.
As always, the Prime Directive takes precedent. So if you discover any budding civilizations, remember your first contact protocols and the Prime Directive.
I guess there's one small matter of the ship and crew that were being assigned.
Always ahead of me, of course. Well, if there are no other questions or concerns regarding the mission, let me introduce you to your ship.
Shall we? I look around the table.
Yes, I think that would be appropriate.
You'll all follow Admiral Winters into a turbolift, and it's one of those like huge cargo-sized turbolifts, and it has windows overlooking one of the dry docks. And she calls the computer to go to the docking bay. And as the turbolift descends, the dry dock comes into view, and the lights kind of spotlight along the hull of a Nova-class starship. 2 sleek nacelles, almost a fanning head, little bit of a low-hanging body, but it's still very sleek. Definitely smaller than some of like the Galaxy class and larger ships, but she looks hardy. And written on the saucer is the USS Parallax.
Oh, I love that.
NCC 53211.
Name good numbers. Good ship.
I'm glad you approve. She has been refitted with modular laboratories, so you'll be able to change them around to see to best suit your scientific and exploration needs. And
Oh, you're gonna love that.
And she's got a reinforced hull, which may be beneficial. We're not sure of the gravitational environment of the core. Don't want your sub crushing in on itself. I will say
Really,
that
that's ill-advised when it comes to a ship.
a little bit. I will say, though, that she has a bit of a history. The parallax was last found adrift in the neutral zone. All hands mysteriously vanished.
Oh, that's a good sign.
It was towed into spaceport, examined, and computer logs wiped, no damage or issues otherwise. We had some technicians go in and scrub the computers, everything, and found nothing that would explain the sudden disappearance. We had a few reports, however, of technicians hearing whispers or getting strange feelings when they were alone. So, I hate to say
Give
it,
us
but
a haunted ship to go look for the devil.
it's the only one I had.
Incredible. Well,
Well, there was an admiral who disappeared too. So, right?
Well, if
Captain.
the admiral mysteriously disappeared on the starport, I hope that he stays here, or at least his spirit anyway.
Are
Yeah.
these fears a sense of human superstition of which I have heard so much?
well, I think ghosts are in a couple different theologies. There's the fire wraiths on Bejor. There's obviously the human reference to ghosts and spirits, and even Trillius Prime has a couple ghost stories.
Interesting. I shall have to read about these events.
Well,
Ellen's like playing with her earring. She looks very nervous.
I'm sure
mentioned,
that I'm sure there's no paw race here.
I certainly hope not. If there is, this is going to be a really bad time.
I am sure there are no lingering ill effects. We have been over this ship at least a dozen times, and nothing beyond a few strange coincidences have been reported. No injuries, no sicknesses. So I think that, if anything, just feel like you have some tourists on board. The turbolift finally arrives at the dock, and the doors open up. And out on the floor of the dock stand, at attention, a whole squadron's worth of crew members in their various uniform colors, reds, yellows, blues. And
All right.
your crew.
Captain, are you familiar with the term parallax?
I am.
It is fascinating. Given the meaning of the word, it is a reminder that perspectives are critical in our endeavor.
That's a very nice way of thinking about things. Even if this ship is haunted, let's go.
Maybe we're the haunting.
Maybe the ghost of the friends we made along the way. Let's go.
These musings seem illogical, Captain, but I shall entertain them to better understand you.
Don't mind me, to pray. I like to, think of, I don't know, colorful expressions to... You'll get used to it, I'm sure.
Indeed.
Humor, I find, cuts tension quite easily.
I shall remember that in the most stressful of situations.
Well, maybe not the most stressful, but like the second most stressful. That was a joke.
Ah, ah ha ha ha.
I don't think I've
Gotcha.
ever heard a Vulcan laugh before.
It's very unsettling.
Do they even smile?
Oh, I'm sure we've got a long way to figure that out. Huh. Admiral?
Yes, Captain.
I thank you for a fine ship and a crew. I hope we can make you proud.
I have no doubt about that. As you set off on your journey, 1, take caution. 2, keep out any feelers for signs of the Admiral's passing. Admiral Helgen was a decent man by all accounts, and it is strange that he would simply vanish. And the
I
timing...
knew the Admiral well.
I'm sorry?
I knew the Admiral well.
Did you? What can you tell me about him?
Very, it seems out of character that he would disappear like this. Dutiful. Loved the work. Didn't love the rank so much, I suppose. This seems a little out of character, but hopefully find him.
I hope so too. That, and that he is found, at least in, he's found alive and in fine condition. Anyway, I have to return to my duties and try and get more of this chaos under control. Captain, the ship and this crew are yours. Bon voyage.
Admiral?
Captain.
All right. Don't just get standing around here. Let's get started. I'll set the crew about. And I'm going to walk aboard, make my way to the captain's chair,
Ooh,
and
goodbye.
sigh before taking it very heavily. Admiral, what did you get me into?
All kinds of fun. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about both of them, actually.
That is completely fair.
Yeah.
I will head to the science station on the bridge and start running diagnostics. If there's anything weird about the ship, give me a heads up.
Will do. So you'll enter in on a lower deck through the docking connection. And the crew that you set about begins just pulling cargo on board, getting their stations set up, so on and so forth. The the bridge, thank you. For some reason I was blanking on them. The bridge is circular, with the captain's chair in center back, toward the center back. Then you have a row of stations, kind of around the circumference, and then the helm in front of the captain's chair, down a level, or just down a step or two.
Who's our pilot?
Ooh. That is a good question. Your pilot is Ensign Torth Chort.
Torth Chort.
Torth Chort is an excellent name.
That is an excellent. That is a very Star Trek name. I like it.
Is Andoran.
Andorian?
Yep, Andorian. Yep.
Heck yeah. Ensign Short?
Yes, Captain. Little antenna just kind of like.
Antennas kind of wiggle a little.
Yep.
Addie's, and once everything's underway, be ready to take us out.
You got it, Captain. I'm ready to do my best.
I know you will.
Tellarite in, what is it? I think it's gold.
Engineering?
Security. So that's red then, or is it
gold.
Gold. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because
Gold's
I
ops.
was like, steps onto the bridge.
Yep. Captain. Lieutenant Cedric, reporting for duty.
Cedric?
Your security officer.
Good to meet you, Cedric.
So I'll take my place at tactical. We have a Tellarite at the security. I'm pretty confident that that job will be done correctly.
I'm going to want you, Cedric. I'm going to want you to do what you do. Get your security team together. Make sure that they're prepared. We don't know what we're going to face out there.
Yes, Captain. We'll make sure that I'm prepared for all contingencies.
Appreciate you. I think if we've got a little bit before we're underway, I might go down and check in with our engineer.
Okay.
Just see the warp core, see engineering, and see how the engineer crews are. Or I might even just call down. No, I think that Mira would definitely go and like do the rounds of the ship and like introduce to like the key heads of departments, because this is the bridge crew. This is who Mira has running each department and running the ship.
Sorry, I think I missed if there was a...
Oh, I was just going to head to engineering and
Yes.
introduce myself
Okay,
to
awesome.
each department. Basically, the captain is going about the ship, introducing themselves to each department head. So, head of engineering, head of security, and so on and so forth. Our head scientist is obviously, I've already met, Dupre, and we know our doctor already.
What position is Lieutenant Commander? Why am I blanking on it? Talon taking.
Oh, Talon. I was gonna go with security, but tactical's fine.
Well, you can
or
take,
I can
take head
do
security.
can do first officer. I can do first officer tactical, if you
Okay.
want.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
we don't
works.
have a first officer yet, really, so.
Okay, I'll do that.
There you go.
I guess I'll be coming along with you then, as if I'm first officer. I'll tag along on
Yeah,
the tour.
If that's the thing, then Talon with me.
Hi, Captain.
Awesome. Head of engineering is
I need a biker to my Picard.
yes. The head of engineering is Lieutenant Commander Para Miller.
Good to meet you, Lieutenant.
Good to meet you too, Captain.
How are the ghosts?
Ghosts, Captain?
Nothing. It's an inside joke. The ship itself. How's it responding?
Oh, the ship is in fine shape, considering. I did hear that she has a bit of a history, but all systems are functional and I dare say even pristine. So we should have no problem with anything.
Make sure you're running ship-wide diagnostics. Just want to make sure we don't have any surprises.
Shall I look for ghosts in the machine then?
Can't be too careful. Then I'll turn and leave. And then, sort of as we're walking back up to the bridge, I sort of go to Talon, and say, "This wasn't my first idea for an assignment, but I'm happy to have it. Obviously, as captain, I need a first officer that I know can have my back to do the things that are a little bit more dangerous. I'm not... I can fight when I need to, but I'm not much of a fighter. I'm more of a talker. So I was hoping that you could step in and be the first officer on this mission."
You honor me, Captain. I have fists enough for the both of us. I think if you need to talk with one of these, I got your back. I don't really do so well on the diplomacy side of things, so I think that we'll make a pretty good team.
Well, then we'll be a team. I'll pick up where you leave off.
Okay.
If fists don't work, we work. Words are always our first resort. Violence should be second, but if it comes down to it, I know you have my back in that respect.
Of course. I think any one of us would.
All right. Oh gosh, I really hope that this place isn't haunted.
I think it's probably best not to think about it.
Probably.
Like, ghosts have a bad connotation to them, but if you think of them as like guardians or spirits, maybe it's a little more comforting to you.
Maybe. Regardless, I sort of pull out a tricorder and I start scanning.
Go ahead and give me a.
Is this reason science? Insight science?
Yeah, yeah.
Alright. That's one success.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Just the usual background space radiation and such. Nothing untoward.
Still don't trust it. But let's get underway regardless.
All right.
I can have Lieutenant Dupre look more into this for you, Captain.
I'm sure it'll come up when it's thematically appropriate.
That's a commercial.
I smell a plot point.
It was subtle, so it's a
Yeah.
good thing you caught it, because it might have been missed.
Listen,
Yeah.
we move at the speed of plot in this. Warp factors to nothing. We move at the speed of plot.
Yep.
It's like any Star Trek proper.
Oh man. Found it. So, Dr. Mamika, the sick bay is on deck 3. And it is it's a smallish size, enough for 3 beds and a 4th, like, kind of like surgical bed or emergency holding bed, and then you have a small office off to the right as you enter. And you meet a small contingent of nurses and medical staff, 3 or 4, who can aid you if they should be needed.
Okay. Would I have their names or no? Would I know them?
Sure.
Or is it unexpected? So, Doctor,
Oh, go ahead.
he's just going kind of around the room and looking at everything, and he's kind of doing this. Okay.
There is Ensign Helga Ufla. There's Lieutenant Yalf Trosa. Got lots of A ending names, it seems.
We just have all of Sweden in Medbay.
Yeah.
Right. I'll just start talking to Ensign Ulfa.
Okay.
And so Ensign Ulfa, correct?
Yes,
I have that right?
Doctor.
Oh, great. How long have you been out of the academy? Is this your first assignment?
It is, Doctor.
Great. Oh, it's always nice to. The first adventure is always the best. I'm so looking forward to it. Are there any problems that you've come across so far? Issues?
Everyone seems to be in good health. I admit that I am a bit nervous about this assignment. We are going somewhere very dangerous.
Oh yes, yes. Those are always the best. That's how you learn. You can't. You never grow if you stay safe. So this is the best. And together, all of us together, we will survive and we'll make the best of it. And yeah, this is why I signed up, and I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you better.
Yes, Doctor. I will endeavor to do my best for you.
Oh, thank you very much, and I shall do the same as well. I think I would like to take an inventory of the medicines that are here. I saw that some of the crates and were being on, but I just want to make sure that we have everything. I know it's a small med bay, but maybe we can find a way to enhance it.
So, would you like me to take the inventory, Doctor?
If you would like to take the lead, that'd be great. Yes. Just let me know what you find. And have you happened to hear any noises in the walls or anything like that?
Oh,
Regular question. Totally normal.
no. Should I have?
No, I don't. Well, I'm just checking, just to make sure. Because you have heard the history of the ship, correct?
No. I
Oh.
don't. Now I am even more nervous. My mother told
Oh.
me all about the wraiths that would come steal me from my bed as a child.
Oh, but they didn't. You're here. You'll be fine.
No, but what did they steal me from
It
here?
just happens that the. Well, we'll know about it. We'll be able to track you. We can put a transporter lock on you. We'll find you. You'll be safe. You'll be okay.
Oh, Madvika, if you will please give me presence and command, please.
Ooh. That is low. Nope. No success.
She is like quivering in her uniform. Now she's like looking nervously over her shoulder at any kind of movement. You've definitely set her on edge, and yeah.
Oh, so speaking of, just out of character, anytime I have social interactions because of the Borg implants, it causes it to even be my complication threshold is higher. So it isn't just a 20; it can be an 18 or 19 that'll cause it.
Did you roll one?
I did. I rolled a 19, so that would be a complication for him.
Yes. So now the sick bay is going to have a trait of
Ooh.
Anxiety.
Okay.
Generalized anxiety. There we go.
Hashtag same.
It's always good for a health facility.
As after
Deeply relatable content.
As after this interaction, the ensign's behavior begins to rub off on the other two, Lieutenant Yalf Trosa and Lieutenant Emery Sampson, as they will attempt to assuage her concerns, but her nervousness tends to wear on them more and begins to almost like infect. Great start to.
Yeah. So the doctor sees this, and he says, "So I know that I can be overzealous about these things. I don't have a filter sometimes, and so I apologize for that. You'll get used to it. It'll be fine." But what I find is that protocol and keeping busy and knowing exactly what you're doing in any situation will always help, regardless of where you're at and what you're doing. So keep that in mind. Remember your training, remember your schooling, and we'll make it together. We will.
They all listen intently and will affirm your speech there, but it's still just this general vibe that that first impression is going to be hard to get rid of. All right.
Yep.
So, Captain, you've done your rounds, taken a look at all the different compartments of the ship and spoken to the heads of various sections. What would you like to do now?
As soon as everything is loaded, crew are in their positions for final checks, I'm going to give the command.
Fantastic.
Crew to ready stations. Let's get this underway, shall we?
Lieutenant Commander Talon, Talon?
Ellen,
Talon.
like
Talon.
telling a story.
Okay, cool. Talon, you get, being the first officer, you get the notification that all crew are on board, all cargo has been secured, and...
All crew and cargo accounted for, Captain.
All right. Ensign, take us out.
Yeah, yes, Captain. He turns and begins tapping.
I
on
sort
the
of
console.
walk and I put a hand sort of on the ensign's shoulder.
Mhm.
It's gonna be okay. You got this. You trained for this.
Takes a
I've got focuses in team dynamics and composure, if that helps.
okay. So that would be either a command or control or presence, and I want to say presence on this one. Presence and command.
That's my corner stat. Let's do this. So composure would work, or team dynamics would work. Would that
Yes,
would those focuses
absolutely.
apply?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's 3 successes. This is what I'm built for. It was a 15 and a 3, and I needed a 15 or lower.
Sure. That was a difficult one in order to get the ensign to steady his nerves a little bit, press the right buttons on the console. But your presence, your assurity and confidence seem to impart itself onto the ensign, who kind of straightens up, his antennae flex a little bit, and his
I have a talent, if this helps, called reassuring.
Ooh.
My presence is a boon to comrades, providing them with a little extra confidence when they need it most. When I succeed at a task using my presence, I may spend momentum to reassure my allies. So do we have any momentum currently?
You do. You have 2.
Okay, then I'd like to spend a point of momentum to reassure an ally. To if there's any complications with the piloting check, he can ignore them.
Fantastic. It, the ensign just seems emboldened and begins his checks. The dock communicates for release of the docking
Releasing
field.
docking clamps.
The ship kind of floats free as the clamps come undone. And the ensign inputs for low impulse to cruise out of the space dock. Alright, let's see. Let me give him a nice roll, to make use of your and 12. It could have been worse. But this is textbook. He sets the correct coordinates, gets the ship moving, kind of has it moving almost freeform without kind of any computer control. And
as we're leaving the bay, T'Prei's is going to look at the captain and go, "Captain, I believe it is customary for humans to wish each other bon voyage at the beginning of a long journey. So, bon voyage."
Ah. Tradition I'm not really familiar with, but bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
I think I'll knowing that now, that little piece of information, I think that I'm going to go to whoever's on the comm, open a channel to the station.
Aye, Captain. And you'll hear the chirp.
Foxtrot, this is Space Station Foxtrot. This is the Parallax.
Go
We are
ahead.
clear to
Sorry.
bon voyage.
This is Foxtrot to Parallax. Bon voyage. Good journeys. And
Alright.
just as that con closes, the ship clears the dock. Captain, we have cleared the dock. Heading.
All right. I'll give the coordinates and say lay in a course. Warp 8.
Aye, aye, Captain. Tickety-tickety-tickety. And the ship, you hear the nacelles power up, and there is just this momentary feeling of stopping before you're launched forward, or at least the ship is. Everybody inside feels the gravity shift just a little bit as the inertial dampeners and such take effect, and you are now flying through space.
See, that part I like.
It's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling.
It's a very
All
good.
right.
All right. Is there anything anybody wants to take care of before we go on our break? because I feel like this is a good midway point.
Good for now, so if someone else wants to take the lead.
I think we can let the commercials roll unless anyone else has something.
Alrighty. Well, thank you to our wonderful viewers. We hope you'll stick around. We are going to be back in about 10 minutes, so we will be back at 25 after. So we hope you'll stick around and see what excitement lies ahead for the crew of the USS Parallax. See you in a bit. Hello, and welcome back to the Star Trek adventures of the USS Parallax. This fine ship and this fine crew. When last we left, our crew had just disembarked Starbase Foxtrot, heading in warp to the Great Barrier at the center of the universe. It's going to be quite the journey getting to the Great Barrier. With your current fuel reserves, you'll probably have to make a stopover once. But then you will be able to continue on to the edge, or to the Great Barrier itself.
So there's one pit stop along our way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And unless there's anything major you would like to do, Captain, or any of your crew?
I am. I think that at this point, Mira is. Captain Drell is probably going to sort out where her ready room is, and then start the busy captain work of taking reports and administration. And oh my god, so much paperwork.
Right. So you have a conference room off to the port side of the bridge. Your quarters are also on the port. There, the first officer is also on port. Or no, excuse me. First officer is on starboard. As far as a ready room or waiting room, don't I?
So I'm just trying to figure out where the bridge is on these deck plans.
It's on deck 1, the smallest
Circular room
Yeah,
in the middle.
right in the
Okay.
middle,
Let me just open this image and see if I can find a. Is there a larger version of this? My goodness, so small, so tiny.
It is.
Ah, there's a bigger version of it.
Is there anything anybody would like to do?
Yeah.
Or
So, now that we have sort of settled things, I've run diagnostics on the ship. We're on our way to our destination. How many laboratories did we have?
laboratories.
Yes.
They are on the. I need to look these over a little bit more, but you have laboratories on deck 3, and you have 3.
Excellent. I would like to first, before I really bug everybody, meet with my lab, whoever the lab manager is. I assume this is some sort of lieutenant or ensign who is responsible for making sure everything is maintained.
Yes. Gonna have you, Lieutenant Giri Pavlovich.
Pavlovich? I love that. Excellent. Hello. I assume that you are a senior scientist?
I am.
Excellent. I would like to introduce myself. I am Science Officer Lieutenant Dupre. It is a pleasure to meet you.
It is pleasure to meet you.
Now, I do understand that it is complicated running 3 laboratories at the same time. Do you feel up to the task?
This is nothing. I have worked in more chaotic environments, and in fact, it is my preference.
I am pleased to hear it. This is wonderful. Hopefully, you will keep our research in line. I fully intend to review on a weekly basis results with you to ensure that our researchers are making progress. Is that copacetic to you and your interests?
It would be my pleasure and honor to be able to serve and make this journey fruitful and productive. We are mapping a new area of space, and I am more than excited for it.
This is wonderful to hear. Lieutenant Pavlovich, do you have an area of focus?
Astronomics.
Astronomics. Oh, wonderful. That will be an advantage. I have specialized specifically in sociology and xenobiology.
That will definitely come in handy if we run into any new alien species.
Yes, that is the goal. Now, I would like to ask you, in order to make sure that our laboratories are in line, are you able to provide an inventory of all items by tomorrow midday?
I will endeavor to ensure that you have that list in your hand by close of business today. I like working under pressure.
Oh, you are productive and timely. We shall work well together. I do appreciate your efficiency.
Just wait until we get the chance to sit down for a few drinks.
Ah, indeed. I would like, at some point, to meet with the team. I think that would be great for team bonding, as I hear humans and other species find it personable to meet people who are in charge and then interact with them as though they are equals. I intend to provide this opportunity.
That is where the drinking is coming in.
Ah, wonderful. I shall defer to your logic, as you do seem to have a handle on interacting with others socially well in an emotional environment.
We shall arrange a stumble over in one of the mess halls. And I will make sure you get that notice in your calendar.
Delightful. I shall await your invitation. Thank you, and have a lovely day.
You as well, Lieutenant. All right. Currently, as Lieutenant Popovich is true to his word, you will have a status report on the labs as they sit now. One is set up for the astrology or astronomics to his focus. The other is a small biolab. So it's got equipment set up for that. And the third is currently serving as storage space, ready to be set up to your specifications at a moment's notice.
Oh, that's a delight. I will have to think on what I want to do with that third lab.
Once you figure it out, let me know.
Part of me wants to pray to become, because she studied like xenobiology, xenosociology, and a little bit of, I think, psychology. I kind of want to pray to be the ship psychologist, but that also to be just a bad fit. That's where my mind is going here, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Sure.
Very logical approach to psychology.
Indeed. I'm trying to imagine a Vulcan therapist, and in my mind, it's the funniest thing on the planet. Or in space.
See, the problem
10
is
out
you
of
have
10.
emotions. Have you tried not having them?
have you considered taking all of those emotions and then stuffing them down and never letting them out?
You're in.
Oh God, am I a Vulcan?
You should just be able to turn them off like a light switch. Like a light switch, turn them off. All right. Are there any other actions that any of you want to take before you reach the Great Barrier? Anything at the outpost or en route?
So this outpost that we're going to, where is it? Sort of like a halfway point. And can you
Yes.
describe it?
It is a small refueling station. It's almost like a truck stop, a space truck stop. It is minimally manned. The crates of dilithium and other fuel sources that they provide are well maintained, but it's bare necessities on this end, except for this little corner store or little shop in the refueling station that provides some exotic fare in terms of treats or food, stuff you could probably get out of a replicator, but it's cooked right there.
I think the captain's going to stop in for one last hot, actually cooked meal of questionable food. Gonna get some gas station burritos.
These little
Gas station restaurant.
wraps that you get. It's some sort of seaweed from another planet. And
Gas station sushi. Even better. Let's do this.
And sure
We
enough,
have a med bay.
the protein in it are like these long tentacles of some unknown creature, also stemming from that same world.
Don't worry, Captain. We have a fully stocked
But at
med
least,
bay.
at the very least, I'm giving our doctor something to do, and I inevitably get food poisoning from this.
Go ahead and give me a fitness.
Fitness security?
Fitness security, yeah.
That's not what I'm built for, but let's do it. I got one success.
Nice.
All right,
It was a 3 and a 17.
it sits
I wanted to roll a 20 so
weirdly.
bad.
I know, right? It sits weirdly on your stomach, and it tasted. It was very potent, and it lingers on your breath. So anytime you talk to somebody within the next day, they're just like,
I'll replicate some antacids a little later.
go see the doctor for some prescription strength breath mints.
Not good. It's not good for me. I talk a lot. It's so bad for the rest of the crew. I'm sorry.
But you do avoid, catching any kind of like dysentery or something from the space burrito.
Space dysentery.
Ooh.
All right. So with
I think as we are getting closer to and approaching the destination, Dupre is going to start running scans and doing as much as she can to understand the hole in the galactic wall, and then try to figure out A, where it's leading, and B, whether or not we'll survive going through it.
okay, if you will give me a reason and science.
Oh, I would love to. So that's a target
then-
15.
Lieutenant Popovich is also going to assist you with that.
Ooh, I rolled a 14 and a 19, so I have 1 success.
What does...
Okay.
I was just gonna ask a question. What does an advantage do?
It creates a favorable trait, if I'm not mistaken, and it, yeah, and it can reduce the possibility of complications.
reduces-
Yeah,
I think it reduces the amount of successes that you need as well.
that's right.
Possibly.
It affects the difficulty, so it drops the difficulty.
So if it was a difficulty 3, an advantage would reduce it to a difficulty 2.
Okay.
Yep, that's what it is. You studied this rift in the Great Barrier. The Great Barrier having gone from, and you kind of watch a timeline as you put it together from various decades of sensor readings, that it goes from this nebulous energy field, blues and greens and such, and becomes more cloudy and thick, almost like a space briar patch. And this rift seems to cut a hole through that briar patch. Yeah, that's it. It seems unstable, so it does look like it's beginning to shrink.
Being closer to it than from the station we were at before, do I have any insight now into what caused it or how it was opened? And if not, I would like to set Senior Scientist Lieutenant Gary Popovich on researching that as we go through it.
Okay.
I want to be able to get back home.
Of course, of course. Go ahead and give me an insight science, if you will, please.
Sure. I have a success.
A success.
Would the ship be able to assist because we're using the ship's sensors?
Yes, absolutely. Who would like to roll for that?
I suppose me. So is that 1d20 or 2d20?
It's a 1d20 for the ship to assist you.
Okay.
And then it
4.
would probably be what would it be? Sensors plus science?
Yes.
That d20 was a 4, so I'm assuming that's a success.
It is. Let me see about Poplovich.
And they always have a focus, too. So that would be... Is it science, too? Is that the ship?
Science too?
So the ship has different talents as well. Like advanced sensor suites is one of them.
Yes.
Let me.
Is that like the ship version of a focus?
Yes, and it reduced the difficulty of a task by 1 to a minimum of 0.
Oh, there we go. I think that would then make it sufficient. Using the ship's sensors in rather creative ways to come at the problem from different angles. You know, to change the perspective, as it were, to go by the ship's namesake. The biggest thing that you glean from what you study on your way there is that it looks like the hole was punched from the inside out.
And do we have any idea what kind of mechanism that was? And if not, I'm going to set Popovich onto that for a long-term research project.
Okay. No, there's no indication of what made the rift. Just that it's thinning, and that the edges of it seem to like almost flare out, like something went from inside out.
Like punching a hole through a piece of paper, you can see where the...
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Hooray.
Lieutenant Popovich will absolutely dig into that mystery. And we'll get some good readings as you
Go through it.
within range of the Great Barrier and the Rift.
Excellent.
Hooray.
Yes, Captain.
Just on a hunch, would you be able to scan for any residual warp or ion signatures that would be associated with a ship entering or
Yes.
leaving?
Happily.
All right.
I presume that would take a reason and science roll?
And
Great.
you can absolutely use the ship's assistance.
There's
I did
something
not
would
need it.
like to...
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
2 successes.
I can roll for the ship anyways, just
Yeah, go
because
for it.
anything extra, we can get extra questions for
Mhm.
good
Oh, yeah.
information. That is a 1, though. Jeez.
Whoa.
Heck
Nice.
yeah!
All right. Yeah.
That's 4 successes.
I'll go ahead and give you momentum on that one.
You want to spend one to ask a question?
We can ask some questions.
Oh. There is a faint warp signature leading into the rift. Faint as in it has been fading over a period of time.
Would I be able... I have a question if we can do the obtain information spend.
Go for it.
Is the signature consistent with a warp engine that is Starfleet issue? Because it does hum at a different variance than other...
Yes.
I think we found our trail of breadcrumbs.
Blink,
Missing
Captain.
Admiral.
I shall send a message back to the Admiral before we go through the wall, so she is informed.
Lieutenant Tepray, could you also package the sensor readings in with that? The Starbase might be interested in the composition of this barrier.
Absolutely. I will do so immediately.
Good idea.
Ensign Chort will turn around. It may not be my place, Captain, but perhaps we should leave behind a buoy?
That's an excellent idea, Ensign. Make it so.
Alright, type it in. And a kind of probe will detach from the parallax with the data that Lieutenant Dupree puts into it, and kind of plays as a beacon and connects the communications, bridges the communications divide.
All right. No sense dawdling around here if this is sealing. We should probably head inside before it closes on us.
And
Yeah.
oh, God, sorry. Go ahead.
Hopefully we can get out before, it seals on us completely. Or we find a way to get back out.
Well, something punched its way out of there, so I'm sure if it came down to it, we could too.
Well, Ensign Short, bring us in.
Yes, Captain.
At impulse. Let's not go too fast.
Taps the coordinates and vectors into the console, and the ship will dip toward the port side as he reorients toward the lengthwise of the rift, and following using the remnants of that confidence that you instilled on it at the start. He vectors in toward the rift. Does the ship have any, I don't know, aid for piloting?
We just have a sturdy frame and improved hull integrity in case things go wrong.
Okay.
But
It has engines con, so I don't know if if
engines
that
and
counts.
con it's not the best things about this. This is a ship that's sort of built for sciencey science.
Science.
But engines are a 9, con is a 2, so we could roll for an assistance with an 11 or lower.
All right, make it so. Let's do that. And all right.
No help from the ship, unfortunately.
I think he only got 1. Yeah. So that
Would I be able to sort of assist with with my command discipline?
yes, absolutely.
So I'm gonna just say, just steady as she goes. Just because I also have a focus in astronavigation and evasive maneuvers.
And those would definitely apply here, especially the evasive maneuvers once you get inside. As you near the mouth of this opening, you can see that there's this electrical discharge occurring inside.
That's a 2 on the die, which would be 2 successes. And because I assisted with my command discipline, whenever I have advisor, which is whenever I assist another character with my command discipline, the character being assisted may reroll 1d20.
Ooh, awesome. Let's see if he does any better. He does. Wow. All right.
That's what I'm built for, baby.
Can we bank some momentum from that?
So, yes. So how many successes was that? 4 total?
So it was 2 successes from me.
You, and then it would be...
1. Nothing from the ship, but did he crit on the second one on the reroll? Or did he?
Yeah. It's a 5, so that is less than... Nope. His control is 2. Because con is 2, so it has to be under 2 to get the crit, right?
Yeah, to crit.
So he didn't crit, but he got 2, so it's a total of 4 successes.
4 successes.
So yes, you will get 1 momentum on that. As you're nearing the mouth of this rift, you see this electrical discharge. And while Ensign Short tries to vector and lean the ship long ways to get it in, you note that there's still listing to one side that might brush up against the edge of the rift. And you call the correction and help guide him to a better angle, and kind of keep with him as the ship has to kind of wave through this tunnel. The electrical discharge is intense. Lieutenant Dupree, you'll note on the sensors that it's a combination of like ion discharge, radiation, all smashing against the shield. Without better navigation, if you have brushed up against it, it might diminish the shields. But with the captain's direction, the ship remains fairly untouched.
Two things. One is I'm collecting all of the sensor data always for this, just as much as humanly possible, or Vulcanly possible. And then, in addition,
Humanoidly possible.
sapiently possible. And then, is there any way to manipulate or modify the shields to dissipate some of that charge?
Ooh.
To sort of ground the ship within the space, so that way it is less dangerous for us?
Most definitely, with a reason and engineering.
Okay.
I can assist with this. I have a focus in electroplasma power systems. I don't know if this is an electrical power plasma storm.
I mean, yeah, that would absolutely apply in this situation.
I love that. And I have an ability, and I just want to double check what it says. All the windows that are open right now is just amazing. But I got 2 successes.
All right.
What was it rolling for? Sorry.
Uh,
What were the attributes and discipline?
So that would be, I'm gonna say either insight engineering or control engineering.
Okay. So I rolled a 2. So for the engineering stat plus my focus, I think that's a crit, right? So it's 2 successes.
Yeah.
Or if you assist, is it only 1?
I know you can crit on assists as well.
Great. So that's 4 successes, and I would like to use my talent, Rapid Hypothesis, which means I'm quick to devise working theories about a phenomenon's nature, origin, or effect. Once per scene, I can ask 2 or more questions using obtain information, and can immediately create an advantage that represents my theoretical understanding of the subject.
Okay.
So, first is, with what we just did to the shield, can I use that data to figure out eventually how to bore through the galactic wall? Maybe not right now, but...
Right. Whatever bore through the Great Barrier was powerful indeed. However, now that the wound is there, it may be possible to brace it open. Some sort of persistent energy shield, bubble, something set may hold it open.
Okay. And second is, can we identify any other phenomena associated with this event that might either be useful or a danger in the future?
The Great Barrier itself is still made up of energy. It's just become much more concentrated to the point that you can almost make out these tendrils of currents. It is possible that with the right equipment, the right frequencies, whatever, you may be able to navigate around them without taking significant damage, but going through the barrier itself would be damaging in itself. Just avoiding those tendrils would make the impossible improbable.
That's excellent. It's great food for thought for the long haul. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. The trip through this tunnel is takes probably about 20 minutes, but it feels like an hour too, just in the focus that it takes to guide the ship safely through the channel.
With the modifications to the shields, and just the general beating of the ship that the ship might have taken going through, would we have lost any of the ship's power? Because that is a resource in this game. We're currently at 9, or our total is 9.
So, with the modifications that you made, it does not... You do manage to avoid any drain on the power resources. The shields will take a little bit of a smacking.
Okay.
Say, like 1 point of shields.
Okay.
But it definitely went ideally.
It could have gone a lot worse. Good work, everybody. Pray.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you happen to come up with any ideas on how we can get back out if this decides to close on us?
At the moment, Captain, I do not have anything certain, but what I have determined with our sensor data is that there are ways to navigate through the Great Galactic Barrier. We are privy to data no one else has been able to see at this time. I am confident with enough time, the science team can provide answers.
See if you can work on a solution to maybe keep this open, some sort of bracing, maybe a probe that's outfitted with some sort of resonance frequency that might be able to keep it open a little longer.
And, is there anything I can come up with rapidly that we can deploy?
I can help with this.
Yeah, sure.
I have a focus in engineering improvisation.
Okay.
I have a focus in deductive reasoning.
Oh, heck.
Oh, this is
Dream team.
Great.
So I
great
wonder
team.
if there's some kind of probe we can launch that we can put some sort of like a carburetor or something on the probe, and then when the electron ion storm goes in, it comes out as something different.
What
and
if
it emits it?
I have an idea. What if we deploy a series of buoys like breadcrumbs, and each of them is modified to absorb energy from the roiling chaos around, and they create like a thread that then converts energy from the galactic wall or barrier into a force that then keeps the hole open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be great.
All right.
Like a string of pearls.
Yes.
I'd say you
Shooting lightning.
Get on that.
Yes.
Right.
We'll park out.
Captain, that was an excellent idea.
Well,
So,
I
Lieutenant...
can have one every once in a while.
Lieutenant Tepre and Lieutenant Commander Talon, you begin to rapidly work on ideas and start building a kind of prototype for what you're doing in the computer. Meanwhile, you have reached the other end of the tunnel. and it opens up into a vast new space. At the center of this space, you see probably thousands of light years away this almost sun, this ball of indeterminate mass and composition churning at the center. This is the first time you've laid eyes on the very core, the very center of the universe. The light from this core pervades this entire space. Much more dimly at where you, at your entry point, but you can tell that if you were to get closer, it would be perpetual day. Just in initial readings, kind of long-range scanners and sensors, will tell you that there are still hundreds of stars that orbit the core. Each may have its own system of planets, maybe just orbiting the core by itself. But so much to explore. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just want to make a quick call down to sickbay to talk to Dr. Madmika. And do you think that there's any danger of us being in the presence of this core for very long? Is it throwing off any radiation that we should be concerned about?
That is a very good question, and I have been scanning Ensign Alpha, and it doesn't seem to be affecting her in any different ways. But now that she knows I'm scanning her, it might. So we do be concerned about that.
Well, on that note, as since you said you're scanning poor Ensign Alpha, who's just like laying on the medical bed, just going, I know, okay.
I just had a headache.
Actually, that headache seems to be pervasive. I would like everybody to roll me. Once again, fitness and security, please.
Ooh, okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Remember, we have 3 -2s.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Thanks to our wonderful audience.
Well, you guys have been
I
killing
have-
it, so maybe
I have
that'd be-
one success, but barely. It landed on the 12, which is what I needed.
Okay.
Actually, wait, no, I have no successes. That was a 12, which I need an 11.
Hey,
Okay.
-2, take a -2.
Okay, I'll take a -2 so that I succeed.
All right.
I need one of those -2s or else I have a complication. Because I rolled a 20.
Oh, heck.
Okay.
But
I
a
have one
complication could be
success.
fun. So, let's see.
That is completely up to you. You have the boons if you would like to use them. You may absolutely may.
I also have 1 success.
One success, and Talon, did you get any successes or?
Yeah, I rolled a 5
Okay,
and a
alright.
20. And so I only crit if I can apply a focus, right? Like if
Correct,
my
yeah.
security
Correct.
is 5 and I roll a 5, It's just one success.
Correct.
But
Because it-
how many points of
No.
momentum do we have currently?
You have 3.
3?
So, sorry, Twisting, what'd you say?
Oh, so if you do have a focus and you roll a 5, that's a
If you roll, if you have a focus and you roll under your discipline, then it's a crit.
I don't really have a focus that applies here,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. All right, so we've got 1 success everywhere. How about you, Madmika?
1 success.
1 success. Okay, everybody mad. Oh, go ahead.
Quick question: if you want to negate that complication, you can also spend momentum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we have the -2, so I'm going to use one of
Yeah,
those.
may as well use them.
Okay.
Dr. Madmika, Ensign Alpha, as you exit the rift, she hisses in pain. And since you were preemptively scanning her, her vitals jump very briefly. Not into any kind of like critical, oh my gosh, she's about to seize kind of way. But there's definitely a biological response to some unknown stimuli. And she reports that there was this loud, like, whine in her ears. Like,
Okay.
Almost like tinnitus, but it went away just as fast as it came. It was a flare, almost. And you'll actually receive reports from probably a good 1/4 of the crew of the same thing.
Okay. Can I do an insight medicine check to see if I can figure out what it is?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's a 17, but I would like to use 1 momentum to buy another
All right.
another
Absolutely.
die. Do I have? Oh, I would like to do it this way. I have bold medicine, so instead of using that momentum, I will give the GM threat.
Oh.
And since I bought 1 or more, then I get to re-roll a single d20. So that's that. Okay, and then I do have medical experimentation as a focus, but I don't know if that really would apply. Otherwise, it's
I
just
mean,
like
Ensign
medical-
Alpha is up on the table right now. So.
Medical experimentation, like, is that how I read that is like if you're trying like a unknown remedy or a new remedy or something like that. So I don't think it would apply in this particular situation.
Okay. A 6, a 12, and a 13. A 9, a 12, and a 13. So 3 successes.
Wow. All right.
Hey.
Gathering the different reports and interviewing Ensign Alpha for more medical clues. This phenomena, whatever it was, came from an external source, most likely outside the ship. But what it was, you're not sure. And it probably affected everyone. Just some were able to resist it, and others were not so lucky. You didn't have any extreme cases or more symptoms to be able to pinpoint the culprit, and it doesn't seem biological. Like no bacteria, virus, or anything like that. So what it was, it still remains a mystery. But it seems to have passed for the moment.
Okay. So I'm gonna call Lieutenant Commander to pray.
Yes, Doctor.
I've analyzed the results of the, I guess, event, and it was really fortunate that I was scanning one of the staff as we were going through the channel, because that allowed us to obtain direct information.
Oh, what have you determined?
There's that. Well, I am uncertain. I'm going to send you all of the data, but I am theorizing that this may have either been a scan, that we were scanned, or that it is an effect of something in this particular part of space. I am not sure which one it is, but you may be able to figure that out. And it is not biological, so it is. That's all I can tell at the moment. But I'll continue to do to look at the analysis, and it might, if we can figure out the waveform, if it is a scan, we may be able to set up kind of like a defense field. If we can recalibrate the deflector, that may protect us from future. I'm going to call them scans for now because that's how it feels to me. So I'm
Understood.
Yes, I'm sending you all the data.
Thank you. Please do so, and I will communicate with the science team to determine any potential avenues of action.
Admika out.
And then I will probably ping our good friend, Senior Scientist Lieutenant Gary Popovich. Lieutenant Popovich.
Yes, Lieutenant.
I will be sending you data shortly. Please take a look at this data. I don't know if you have felt certain unusual symptoms having crossed the Great Galactic Barrier. Some people are reporting headaches, and the doctor suggests it may be some sort of scan.
I don't think I've ever had a headache in my life, and I'm very hearty. You know, years of drinking.
That is excellent.
But
However,
I will look at your data, and I will let you know if I find anything that looks weird.
thank you. I would recommend a cross-functional team. Biologists may have something to offer here too.
I will work with the sick bay and the medical team on the biology.
Thank you.
Popovich, yeah. All right. Now stands before you the great unknown within the Great Barrier, at the core of the universe. Where would you like to go? What would you like to do?
Lieutenant Dupre, can I get you to run another scan for that trail of breadcrumbs we saw earlier? The one from the Federation ship?
Oh, yes, happily. And I would recommend before we leave this space that we do deploy the technology that we discussed in order to maintain this escape in the galactic barrier.
Yes. So
Always make sure we have an exit. Smart.
to that end, need either reason engineering or insight engineering.
Okay, reason engineering I can do. Lieutenant Tellin, did you wish to work on this project with me?
Sure, certainly. I can help deploy the worker bees that have been calibrated to local environmental stuff. I'm running out of words to use here. I don't have any focuses that apply, but I can try to roll an assist, I think.
If my deductive reasoning does apply in this instance, I have a crit, and therefore 2 successes.
I would like to introduce a mechanic to the game that we haven't really toyed around with yet, which is determination.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I may spend a point of determination to grant any other character that I can communicate with a point of determination as the commanding officer. So, how points of determination work is when you live up to one of the values that are listed on your character sheet, or when you live up to the mission objectives that Starfleet has laid out for you. In this case, we are searching for the missing admiral and the ship that he may or may not be on. We can use a point of determination to get 1 die as though it has rolled a crit. And then we would just roll 1 extra on top of it. So we would have an automatic 2 successes on any check. So if someone would like to use that determination, I can dub it on you right now.
I think for the buoys at least, that would be a very smart choice. So with my 2 successes plus your additional 2 successes for determination, and then did Lieutenant Commander Tellin have any successes?
Yes, I rolled
Let's
4,
stack them up
so
while we can.
1 success.
All right, so that is a total of 5 successes for our manipulated buoy system, our string of
Yes.
pearls, as Lieutenant Commander Tellin had suggested.
You have accomplished the inconceivable.
Box into replicators. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Not only have you created almost a daisy chain of buoys to launch into the rift, you've made them so that they can renew their energy using the ion cloud around them. So you don't have to use up any of the ship's resources. And you can make them self-sufficient as far as like their automated protocols and such. So you don't need, like, say, a automated shuttlecraft to sit there and command them. Instead, they can kind of ad hoc talk to each other and balance their load. So you have surpassed expectation on that one. Firing them out almost like torpedoes out the aft of the ship. They travel in a line into the rift and set up points along the rift, holding it open with shields that recharge from the electrical storm itself. Beautiful.
Captain, this task is complete. And thanks to the teamwork, I believe it will last.
All right. Perfect. Now we've got our escape route covered. Let's go find our missing admiral.
Yes, and per your request, I will perform that scan.
Thank you.
And would that be a reason science, or...?
Since you've already had the signature, there's no benefit to rolling again. You use the ship sensors to kind of almost give a visual on screen as like a kind of faint blue trail that leads out into space, which will guide Ensign Chort in further toward the core. Lieutenant Popovich will report that the nearest body is an M-class planet.
Ooh.
And following the breadcrumbs, as you put it, looks like it leads straight there.
All right, Ensign, laying a course. Let's go.
Aye, aye, Captain. And the ship powers forward, heading toward this planet. As it comes into view, you put it up onto the main viewer. The screen fills with the core in the background, and then this moderately sized planet. Its entire surface is looks to be water. At first glance, anyway.
Can we scan for anything in orbit, like satellites or signs of civilization or anything like that? Typical signs of spacefaring species?
Yep. Lieutenant Prey, do you want to give us our sensor?
Yes.
I can assist with the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Right away, Captain.
I think
That's
that a good reason and science will...
Aided by the ship's sensors plus science.
Mhm.
So I got a 3 on the die for the from the ship.
So,
I actually rolled a 3 and a 14, so that's 2 successes.
Nice.
nice. Well,
And the advanced sensor seats does knock it down. 1.
the what?
The advanced sensor suites does knock down whatever difficulty you had in mind by 1.
Okay. I will give you a point of momentum on that, as it's a fairly easy routine scan. There are no satellites or space debris around the planet. Scanning over the planet, it does not look to have any technology that would show up on sensors. There are a myriad of life forms, many undocumented, in the ship's computer. There is also a strange quality to the planet's water. Even on visual, as you magnify, it's there doesn't seem to be any like water ripples. Like it's almost like glass. Through the sensor, with the combination of the sensors, you find that it is almost gelatinous. That the planet's gravitational properties have condensed the water, not frozen it, so it's almost like jelly.
Did we just find a gelatinous cube planet?
I didn't think about
I've
that.
read
but sure.
Solaris. I know where that leads.
I was thinking more Jello mold, but but that totally works. Poking out of the jelly or Jello mold are a smattering of islands in parts of the world. The breadcrumbs lead down to the planet, specifically a small cluster of islands in the northern hemisphere.
Captain,
And we
if you
haven't-
look at the map, our sensors detect that the path does lead into that quadrant on the planet. I will highlight it accordingly.
No signs of life on the planet?
There's no signs of advanced civilizations. There's plenty of life forms.
I'm specifically looking for humanoid life. We're not wanting to break the Prime Directive here.
The sensors will.
Would I be able to just ask that question as an obtain information spend using a point of momentum?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. By the definition, humanoid, no.
Okay.
There's different grades of fauna, but nothing that would classify as humanoid. Yeah.
Nothing classified as humanoid, nothing sort of classified as sentient life to allow us to break the Prime Directive.
Correct.
All right. I suppose we should put together an away team and send a runabout down to the planet. That's the plan. Helen, Dupree, and I suppose our good doctor take a runabout down to the planet, and I'll stay up here and scan for life signs and any any other trace of our missing ship. I feel like we're on a wild goose chase.
Hi, Captain.
Yes, Captain.
On my way.
All right. Head down to.
If you like, in situations like this, I can play a security officer or someone else that's not the captain. If you like, y'all need a little bit of assistance.
You always take Lieutenant Cedric.
Heck yeah, I can play Sijic.
Okay. I will just send you the little character sheet that I got.
Heck yeah.
There we go.
Thank you.
There you go.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So
Away team to the cargo bay.
yeah, there are 2 shuttles available. And the 4 of you will pile into one of them. Ensign Chort settles the ship into orbit. And the operations send off the shuttle. The descent onto the planet is fairly easy. A little bit of turbulence, but mostly because the cloud cover is pretty thick as well. It's kind of soupy. Not as much as the oceans are, but definitely provide some resistance. But you break the cloud cover in the atmosphere, and you head down to this cluster of islands, following the trail, and find a large open beach. as the best landing spot, considering the rest of the island is overgrown with dense jungle and rising mountain peaks. You light down onto the beach, and the shuttle opens, admitting you out.
I venture out with my phaser drawn.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out a tricorder and I'll start scanning.
Same.
Yep.
There is an abundance of life, mostly plant life, on the island. There are a few species of fauna that inhabit the jungles, and you see strange, thick-feathered birds that crest the trees. The atmosphere is difficult to breathe. It's like being below sea level, and just it's almost, it's like really humid almost. Like there's just
Like being in a sauna.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And looking out over the oceans, the water, it is really weird how it just kind of like slops onto the beach. Instead of, the nice free-flowing waves, it just kind of...
So unsettling.
Just gonna poke it with the boot.
The weird gurgling and like fart noises of the ocean.
Yep.
Planet's weird.
The trace of the shuttlecraft that you've been pursuing seems to go under the water. Couple dozen yards off of the beach.
If I try to use my Starfleet badge to communicate, am I able to send like a broadband signal to see if perhaps I can reach anyone or anything on the shuttle underwater?
I open in a hailing frequency. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of a hailing frequency. Yeah, that would work. You tap and open a hailing frequency using the shuttlecraft's boosted signal. Your shuttlecraft's connect to the other one. What are you gonna say?
What was the name of the ship that we were pursuing? Or do we not know?
Yeah, it was just a long-range shuttlecraft.
Okay. And she'll touch her Starfleet badge, and we'll just say something. Hello, this is an open frequency message to any potential survivors of a Starfleet crash. I am Lieutenant Prey, and we are here to help aid you and recover you if need be. Please respond.
No response.
You want to ask for the Admiral specifically?
What was the Admiral's name?
Helgen?
Elgin.
I repeat, this is Lieutenant Prey of Starfleet Command, and we are looking for Admiral Helgen. If you can hear us and you can respond, please do. And then, I think I will call up to the ship and ask them to scan for life signs. Any humanoid-specific life signs. and to focus under the surface of the water if they can by at least 30 meters.
Okay.
I can do that. Reason plus science.
Yep.
Good.
And obviously you can have the ship assist.
Absolutely. Oh, hell yeah. And let me get one more for the shit. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. I rolled a 1,
Wow.
a 4, and an 8.
Amazing.
Wow. Amazing. There does appear to be a single humanoid in the shuttle. And with that good of a roll, which I think give you one momentum there.
Yeah.
They are. You show no life signs.
No life signs. One humanoid, no life signs. Looks like this is a recovery mission runabout. Is there any way that you can use the runabout to lock onto the other shuttle with a tractor beam and try and tow it out of the water?
Certainly try. Try to get everybody back on board for this. But Talon has a suspicion that there's something funky with the water and might ask Dr. Madmika to look at it specifically to see if he can glean any chemical composition and like oxygen content of the water.
Yes. So Dr. Madrika pulls out the. Oh, he doesn't have to do this. So
We can maybe
one of
take
his
a
Borg
sample.
implants.
Yeah.
One of his Borg implants flares,
Oh.
and he's able to scan the fluid. What would I roll to find out what it's made of?
That would be reason and. So you're trying to find out its like composition. So that'd be more
Yep, mhm.
science.
Yeah.
Yeah. So reason
Okay.
and science.
Reason and science. And I don't have nothing to. No focuses. But if Lieutenant Talon would like to assist, you can, since it was your.
I would
Brilliant idea.
recommend that Tupre assists you. I really don't know anything about science.
Doctor, let me help you with this.
Okay.
I can be of some service and aid.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dupre. Ooh, I got 1 success.
I got 2 successes, and I have a question.
Okay.
And I don't know would, in this case, in studying the oceans, would xenobiology count as a focus?
Oddly enough, it will.
Then that's 3 successes for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Suspected.
Suspicious.
So how many was that total? Sorry.
4.
4.
Okay. The at initial reading, it reads just like water, H2O, but there's a biological component to it that helps give it its thickness. And it is a very abundant supply of calcium. That has almost like thickened.
Hmm. Well, uh, I think we need a sample. We definitely need to take it back. I've never encountered anything like this,
At this point,
and
the
it's
the security officer that's with you holds up his boot and said, "Will this do?" Because he kicked the water earlier.
yes, that is perfect. Uh, we need more. If we could, that would be great. If we could transport some. Uh, but it has quite a dense calcium component. That's what's giving it its viscosity. That's why it kind of congeals.
Do we have a
So
It was
Danube?
made of
it doesn't.
bones.
A what?
Yes.
What
from
kind of
bones.
runabout is it? Do we have a transporter? Can we take a sample? A
The
transporter?
no, it doesn't have a transporter.
Okay.
But you can always call up to the ship and we can transport some up into a containment
Mhm.
field.
I will do that.
There you go.
Um,
That's done.
Helen to
easy
the
enough.
parallax.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Tell him
ahead.
to the parallax. Dr. Madmika was wondering if you could take a sample of the oceans. He's recommending that we study it further. Doctor, do you think we need a containment field of some kind?
Absolutely. Level 5.
Level 5 containment.
All right. And then we'll get the sciencey scientists to do their sciencing.
While the science is going on and you coordinate getting the sample beamed up into a secure area, you will take notice that several lizard-like beasts have been congregating on the periphery, circling, and their various fins shimmer almost with a rainbow hue. Their teeth, jaws will open, showing very sharp, carnivorous teeth.
Lieutenant
good.
Prey is very excited. This is her bread and butter. She's going to make eye contact with the group observing us, and she's going to attempt to display, based on her own xenoanthropology, some body language message of non-aggression and a desire to communicate.
I'm gonna give a presence and science,
Okay.
and your
how-
focus would apply here.
Right.
And this is gonna be an opposed.
Okay,
roll.
I got an 18 and a 2, but that 2 is a crit. So I got 2 successes.
And because I have not yet got to spend one, I'm gonna spend a threat.
Ah, curses.
All right. All right. Your posture and your body language communicates that you want to communicate. They don't seem open to communicating, and they kind of the leader, the biggest one, kind of like stops and starts digging its claws into the dirt aggressively. The feeling that you get is that it is claiming territory and giving you a chance to GTFO.
Team, I do believe it would be prudent to leave at this time. My efforts to communicate appear to have not gone as well as I had hoped, and they have taken a stance of aggression.
Well, it's not for lack of trying. Let's get back on board and try to tractor this thing back into space.
Mhm.
The ship, not the lizards.
And as excited as to pray about first contact, she's going to book it. And I think she'll message up to the captain. Captain, we have identified that there may be intelligent life on this planet, though they have not had a full-fledged civilization at this time. Be aware of first contact priorities.
Well, if they aren't warp capable, then it's best that we just vanish into the ether.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can do that recovery and get out of here. Is it possible? I mean, if you're unable to lock onto the shuttle with the tractor beam, we can probably see if we can transport the body through the transporter system instead.
Mhm.
But just be safe. Keep a weather eye out.
Indeed.
All right. In order to pull the other shuttle out, I will need whoever is controlling the shuttle to give me a control con.
I have a decent con. So I'm aiming for a 14.
Okay.
I rolled 1 success.
It's definitely a clumsy grab. You know, kind of like playing a claw game through a jello mold.
All the calcium.
It you the shuttle you're on lurches a little bit as the tractor beam wrenches the other one out, and kind of skims the surface of the oceans. Doesn't look like you'll be able to get far with it though, in its current state. Like it's just like covered in that gelatin, which is adding an exorbitant amount of weight.
Okay. I'll probably try to pilot the ship over to a nearby island to deposit it. And
Okay.
then I think it's best, Captain, if we head back to the ship and try to transport the remains on board.
I'll talk to our transporter chief and we'll see what we can do.
Alrighty. So you will kind of drag it over to a more secluded beach, and rest it on the sands. The stuff the water continues to slough off in big gloopy chunks.
And you check to see if the inside is intact?
Well, that's a
Or
good
is it,
idea. Maybe we could fly it back to the ship. Yeah. Okay. If there's room nearby, I guess I can put down again and see if we can salvage this other ship.
Worst case, you can always get the body on the shuttlecraft and take off from there.
There might be some clues as to what happened too in the computer systems.
The shuttle sets down, and you're kind of parallel to the one you just landed, or just set down. And the shuttle seems responsive to commands to open. And, putting in an override code, the aft door opens and allows entry.
If there's nobody else inside except for the one humanoid, I'll let the doctor in first. You're muted. Sorry.
Madmika enters the shuttlecraft and does a basic scan of the body.
Okay.
So what would that be?
I
don't need to. That's okay too.
Reason, science. If you would like to go ahead and
medicine.
I'm sorry. Yeah, medicine. I apologize.
Okay.
The body is relatively fresh. This is from everybody's observation. Relatively fresh. Probably only been there probably a handful of days by the looks of it. What'd you roll?
A 7 and a 1.
Ooh, look at you. How many successes? So 3?
3.
Yes. The body is not that of the Admiral. That is immediately apparent as the young man has an ensign uniform, red.
First red shirt.
Yeah, I love those red shirts. And cause of death seems to be phaser fire from behind.
Wow, murder.
Nice.
Is there any info on the shuttle's computer that we could use? Any recorders?
Potentially. I will need a reason science.
Okay.
Or reason engineering.
I can help
Okay.
with that. I have a focus in computers.
Go for it.
I have a success.
I do not.
No? Okay. Looks like somebody stripped these logs down to their bare. So nothing personal seems to have been recorded. You do get the shuttle's flight path and origin and so forth. Sure enough, this shuttle belongs to Starbase Foxtrot. Logs indicate that it bounced from outlying outpost to outlying outpost for refueling before it made its way through the rift. There is a splatter of dried blood on the console that seems separate from the ensign.
Yeah, we should probably. Can this ship fly? Can we take this back to Parallax?
Looks like the power cells have drained. So it may take some repair, but it can. It looks operational otherwise.
Captain, all signs seem to point to the fact that Admiral Helgen was murdered, and his pilot, an ensign, also.
The security officer that's with you is gonna say, "Hey, that blood doesn't look like it belongs to the ensign. You want to scan that, Doc?"
Yes, will do.
All right.
So he just turns his head and the scanner scans. But
If you can give me,
should I roll?
yeah, reason or insight medicine, whichever is higher for you. Or better.
I don't know about
Insight
doctoring, but
medicine.
I do know about killing, and that doesn't look like it's the same kind of. It doesn't seem like this is related. Um, that's and then you'll hear from the ship. That's very concerning. But no sign of the admiral. I'm not willing to consider him gone until we recover something.
Maybe he was
Or,
just
I guess,
taken.
professional courtesy.
Mhm.
Yes. 6 and a 13, so 2 successes.
You scan it, and per the usual readings, it belongs to an older human male.
Okay.
Comparing it to Starfleet database that's available on the Parallax, it will come up as Admiral Helgen. There is
Okay.
something strange about the readings, though. They are... There's an unknown element or quality to the blood splatter that you're unsure what it is. But it may warrant further study. Further, because of your good read on the other one, on the corpse, the same unknown quality is there are traces of it in the dead ensign as well.
Okay. So I'm talking to Lieutenant Seldrick? His name?
Yeah.
Her name?
Cedric.
Cedric? Yeah, that's me.
Cedric. Okay. Well, and everyone can hear this. I mean, it's you just have to turn. The blood is from Admiral Helgen. It is his. So we do need to get shuttle back up to investigate more. But it's interesting how the blood spatter is only there. You don't find it anywhere else in the shuttle. But there are some unknown readings within the blood and also within the ensign as well. So we need to figure out what those are. And I'm going to recommend that we reestablish the shuttlecraft inside of the holodeck so that we can experiment with different scenarios for how this happened.
If we can't take it back with us, let's take some good and thorough scans enough that we can recreate it up there. Would I be able to, Cedric?
So yeah.
Would I be able to make an insight security check, just to see, like, this isn't enough blood to, like, have someone bleed out?
Just by the look of it, no, nobody bled out. Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably a wound, but nothing life-threatening.
Yeah, like there's not near enough blood here for someone who's been like outright murdered. From experience, there'd be a lot more of it. So I think there's a halfway decent chance our admiral might still be alive.
The
Yeah.
shuttlecraft should have logs of how it crashed, how it came to be under the water, and those might be interesting to look at compared to the time of death of the body, as well as the age of the blood spatter. So we may not be able to know exactly what happened, but we'll be able to know the timing of how it happened.
We can put
We
together
also
a
should
good
look
picture.
for. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
And all of those answers we will have to look at next week. We've gone a little bit over time, but really appreciate those of you who have stuck with us and hopefully enjoyed this Star Trek adventure. I have been your game Mistress Winter. You can find me on all socials at gmistresswinter and on my channel Mistress Winter's Court, especially on Mondays. How about Juicy?
Hi, I'm Juicy Garland, Boston area drag queen and super nerd. You can find me on Twitter at Juicy Garland and on Instagram at juicy.garland. You can also find me on Fridays at this same channel, playing Cyberpunk Red in space.
All right, and Jesse.
Hi, I'm just Jessie D. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. You can find me on Hive at just Jessie D, and hope to see you next week. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. And Anita.
Hello, everybody. I have been your captain, Mira Drell, and also your security officer, Cedric. You can find me everywhere online at Panita or at Critical Misses. I'm a TTRPG streamer, graphic designer, producer, and just weirdo professionally. You can find me on the Critical Misses channel, which is the channel that I run and operate. We have our TTRPG talk show called Morning Ritual. Our guest this week is Sarah Moore from Gen Con TV's Sarah's Table. And we've had a whole bunch of really cool guests. We've talked with people from all over. We've talked to Bria, Brennan, Matt, basically collecting all your favorites like Infinity Stones. Check us out. That's it. That's me.
Awesome. Thank you. And Twisting.
Twisting Curses on Discord, and only on Discord. And this was a fun episode, and I'm really enjoying playing the Doctor. That was awesome. So thank you for being here and staying through the adventure.
Yes. Thank you, everyone who came out. Thank you. And we hope that you will check out some of the other shows by Cybernation Uncensored. Until then, we will see you next week, next Thursday, same time, same channel. Good night.
Cybernation Uncensored.